Newsfirst, Newsline with Faraz Ali.
And top of the morning to you. This is Newsline, live as always from the Newsfirst studios in Dawson Street in Colombo. And after we started clearing up this morning, after an immensely successful Christmas zone, which was attended by thousands and thousands of people, it was very well attended, and it was wonderful having all those people out there and the children participating in the experience of the Christmas zone, the Capital Maharaja Christmas zone, which was held over a couple of days yesterday, finishing yesterday. Now then, the political scenario never seems to go away, and although we've had a seeming resolution, various questions still remain, mainly surrounding leadership. And we've got with us here Mr. Maithri to join us and perhaps give us an explanation. Very good morning to you, Maithri.
Morning, Faraz. It's nice to be back. And
at the outset, may I congratulate you on your appointment as the President's Counsel?
Thank you very much, Faraz.
So your entry to courts and so on will be rather seamless now, will it?
Hope so, hope so.
So this is like a frequent traveller card, is it? Is that when you become a PC, you get certain privileges?
Yes.
What is it? An acknowledgement of what?
Of your seniority in the profession and the way you conducted yourself.
Right.
All those are taken into consideration.
I hope that it won't stop you from being open and vociferous as you've always been.
That is my nature, so I cannot change my nature.
Wonderful, wonderful. Now then, shall we go first things first? There is some talk that the composition of the cabinet of ministers, in essence, we are told that if it is one party, then the number of cabinet ministers limited to 30.
Definitely.
That's the scenario.
That's right. It's crystal clear.
It's crystal clear.
Yeah.
So, but the United National Party, which is the actual legal name or the legal party that contested the last election.
Correct.
Although they call themselves the United National Front.
Yes.
It is the symbol that was used was the UNP symbol,
That's right.
and the name was the UNP.
That's right.
Name.
That's right.
Right. So in essence, it's one party.
Yes.
But they don't have a majority in Parliament.
Not
How
a clear
does that
majority.
work?
They're not a clear majority.
Right.
The UNP contested under the UNF.
Right.
And to the UNF, they got various other political parties,
Right.
like the Muslim Congress, then the Hello Rumaya,
Right.
and Mr. Mano Ganeshan's party.
Right.
All those people contested under the UNF banner.
Right.
So, although they called it a United National Front,
Yeah.
it was not a legally registered front.
That contested the election.
No, it was the UNP.
Right.
So basically, by changing it to United National Front, they gave the co-partners or the other parties which joined them some mental comfort that they are in a front.
Yeah.
But essentially,
In the cold neutrality of the law.
it was United National Party and the elephant symbol.
Right. So for all intents and purposes, Rauf Hakim, Patali Champika,
Yes.
and Mano Ganeshan, all these people.
United National Front.
Yes, but legally they contested as the
UNP.
Side question. I wonder if they took our UNP membership. But
No, I don't think, because each of them have a certain agreement with the UNP.
right, okay.
There's an agreement.
Right. So that's that's the legal government. 106 minus
Yes,
the people
yes,
who
yes,
crossed over.
yes.
So it's a minority government.
Basically, since they don't have the 113
Yeah.
per se or clearly,
Yeah.
it becomes a government which doesn't
So, but it's just one party. There's no coalition.
No.
Right. So, therefore, it's 30 members.
30 members.
The 19th Amendment is clear on that.
Clear.
Okay. So, why is this talk about trying to have 32 members, maybe 45 members?
Point is for us, for them to do these horse deals,
Yeah.
and get the 113, they have to promise so much to so many.
Right.
So they cannot limit it within the 30.
Right.
And today, most of these members of parliament are only going behind position and ministerial positions.
Right.
For the simple reason for us that the taxpayer has to pay something like 5 million rupees to maintain a minister
Per
month.
wow. Okay.
It may be more, but it's about 5 million rupees to maintain a minister.
Right.
So for us, I mean, if someone is being maintained for 5 million rupees a month, he has a more than average lifestyle.
Right.
And he would not want to leave that lifestyle.
Right.
So that is why they are indiscriminately crossing over from one side to the other.
So this is all to do with Sarat Silva's ruling long time ago. Right.
For the simple reason is to enjoy the perks and privileges of office.
And Sarat Silva's ruling was that if you crossed over to accept a ministerial position to serve government, then it would be fine.
That's right.
That's why you had ministers of everything. Maybe in the end a minister of a coconut tree as well.
Correct. Now that was prevalent in the Rajapaksa administration before 2015.
Yeah.
Then in 2015, after the 19th Amendment came in, if there was a straight government which was appointed, then it is the Prime Minister and 30.
Right.
30 members, including the Prime Minister, it's 30 members.
Right.
And adding something more for us, in a situation like that, once the Prime Minister is appointed, you cannot remove the Prime Minister until the 5 years is over.
According to the 19th Amendment.
According to the 19th Amendment.
Right.
But the only time you can remove the Prime Minister premiership falls vacant is when there is a coalition and the coalition withdraws.
Right.
And that's what happened on the 26th of October.
I see. So the president was actually well within his.
With regard to appointing of Mr. Mahinda Rajapaksa, I would say yes.
Right. And that is not, and that matter was not touched upon.
It was never called in question.
Right.
It was never, because they wouldn't have had a leg to stand on.
The Supreme Court actually ruled on the dissolution. Right. Okay. So now now we have a situation where they are trying to interpret the 30. Now they're saying it's 30 plus the Prime Minister plus the President. 32.
No. 30 is 30.
There is no plus this.
There is no plus this and plus that. And I have a copy of a letter which the Prime Minister sent to the President, annexing 36 names as ministers.
Right. Some people just don't learn.
Some people, I mean, and typical of Ranil Wickremesinghe, he thinks that he is immune to violate anything. Others cannot.
And he can get away with it.
Get away with it. Now this letter for us is where he sends, Prime Minister is sending the President, asking him to appoint these 36 as ministers.
Right.
So from the very inception, he violates the Constitution, having been appointed as Prime Minister a few days ago.
Yeah.
First move is for the purpose of violating the Constitution. Not only that, then thereafter for us, there are so many ministers who has been appointed who are under the spotlight because of the bond scam.
Right.
Right.
Forgive me, but almost coincidentally, it is on the same day, no sooner that these appointments happen. I call it a coincidence, if you may, but one of the suspects, or one of the alleged suspects in this, young Arjun, was moved to the prison hospital at the time.
Yeah.
I'd call it a coincidence, I don't know. But I'm just saying, I'm pointing out what happened, the sequence.
Yeah.
So, carry on.
So, now, that means he has still not learned.
Yeah.
Now, after he was appointed, the President gave a scathing attack on his conduct.
Indeed.
That should have been done, if at all, when he sacked the Prime Minister.
Yeah.
President also sacked him without making any statement.
Right.
If he had made that statement before he sacked him, right, the people would have understood the reason and there would have been no sympathy.
Indeed.
But what the president did was he remained silent. He appointed him, he removed him,
Yeah.
and only when he appointed him did he tell the reasons for his removal.
Indeed.
Which was wrong.
Yeah.
But if the general public was aware
Yeah.
of what the president said when he reappointed him,
Yes.
there wouldn't have ever been such amount of sympathy for him. Now see, having done that,
Yeah.
and his main line of attack was the bond.
Yeah. Yeah.
Still, most of the people who have come under the spotlight of the bond have been appointed as ministers. So, I mean, where does he learn?
There is no commitment.
There is no commitment. What is the commitment to democracy? What is the commitment to good governance?
And where is the international community in all this?
The international community does not talk. Civil society does not talk.
When it comes to this kind of thing, the international community hide behind the sovereignty case.
Definitely.
They say, oh, well, this is sovereign internal affairs.
Internal affairs.
So what about the constitution? That's internal affairs.
Then the other thing is for us now, provincial council elections.
Yeah.
They are due. They are overdue.
Indeed.
Right? Has the Prime Minister spoken one word with regard to the provincial council election? Has the President, even the President is to be blamed here. The President is to be blamed. And now they are trying to go back to the old system.
Yeah.
That is the proportional representation system.
Yeah.
Now if they go back to that system, for us, you are again inviting absolute corruption in the country. And this president has no mandate to do it.
Right.
Because he promised the people of this country that he is going to change the electoral system, he is going to bring in the mixed system. In fairness to him, he bought it for the local government election, but the provincial council election, now they are trying to go back to the old system.
Right.
So this is extremely unfair, and they are again, the President and Prime Minister both should not get involved in misleading the people and giving the people a bad deal.
But it's almost beggars belief. Today is the 24th of December. In precisely 7 days' time, it will be the 31st.
Yes.
And that marks precisely 1 year since the Presidential Commission in looking into the bond gave the report to His Excellency the President.
Yeah.
And notwithstanding the fact that some people, Austin Fernando, tried to have it archived and so on, which would mean that nobody would have a look at it for 30 years. God knows what possessed him to do that. But it's 1 year. It's 1 year of disgraceful lack of commitment to get this thing, to get to the bottom of that.
Yeah.
And the central bank is playing its own slow boat to China role in this.
Correct.
It doesn't take 1 year to get hold of a forensic audit. No matter what. And I can just imagine these people sat there, you know, and styling it out to delay it even further.
Correct.
I mean, there's no commitment.
Absolutely none. No, and even the governor, Mr. Kumarasamy, I mean, people expected much more than this from him.
Well, yes, sadly, Governor Kumarasamy is a terribly nice chap and a gentleman to the bone. But when it comes to delivering on the public expectation,
it's zero.
It's sad.
It's zero expectation.
It's because, and I rather suspect that the poor man's not being allowed to get on doing his job.
The point is for us, he should, if he's a man of some kind of integrity, either he must make a statement to that effect, saying that he is not being allowed and who is not allowing him. Because otherwise, this is public money.
Yeah.
This is public money and he is holding a public position. As governor of the central bank, he ought to disclose as to who, if at all, is interfering in the conduct of this forensic audit and the further investigation. And I can't understand why the President is not appointing the second bond commission, because the first bond commission, the fraud is is, we'll say, 11 or 12 billion.
Correct.
The second bond commission, I'm told, is going to be maybe 300-400% more than that.
Well, yes, and also if I can put it this way, if we go on the basis that the first bond was tainted anyway, so the profits made on there
is being
would
used for the second.
Proceeds of crime. And those proceeds of crime were invested in the second bond scam.
Correct.
And then one of them, unfortunately, finishes on the 31st of March, I believe, which is the first day of one of those second bonds. And the Presidential Commission didn't go into that.
Correct.
Because their term of their reference finished on the 31st.
Yeah.
So they weren't able to see beyond the 31st. But they have asked for a forensic audit. Now there is some confusion. They say, oh, most of these losses were during the previous regime. We must understand, should we not, that it is two matters. There's one there, and that's in the past.
Yes.
But Ravi Karunayaka, at the time, Minister of Finance, asked the Auditor General, under the powers vested in him as the Minister of Finance, to look into the period into that period, 2008 to 14.
Yeah.
And the Auditor General's report is available on the internet at the Auditor General's website, and you will see, if you read through it, that the Auditor General is not pinpointing any form of substantial corruption or significant fraud, and certainly there is no departure from procedure. This is the important thing that we need to understand.
Yeah.
So Ravi Karunayaka actually did us all a favor by writing that letter.
No, and the other thing is, for us, what the people are interested to know is, once Governor Mahendran was appointed, what was his personal interest with perpetual treasuries? No?
That's right. We had one scenario where one of his bills was paid by perpetual
treasury. So people are not basically not interested what happened in 2008 to 2014.
Actually, I'm just being corrected. It's not by perpetual, but a company connected to perpetual.
Right. So people are wanting to know. In fact, your network wants to know what happened from 2015 to up to now.
Yeah.
Because there was a blatant violation of procedure,
but we are also,
and conflict of interest.
But also, Maithri, I better make this point that we are not ignoring the past, but we feel that we better deal with the present first.
Because these people are in government.
Absolutely.
and they can be stopped or corrected at this time, because whatever has happened before 2015 for us, there is nothing that we can do to correct it. But at least now, by bringing this out, you can correct the situation.
Absolutely. On that note, we'll take a quick break, and don't go away. After all, this is Newsline.
Newsfirst, Newsline with Faraz Shaukut.
And welcome back. Newsline may well get extended by approximately 4 minutes today, because we're discussing something of some grave significance. It's about leadership, which apparently is what this country is lacking at the moment. And to say that leadership within the United National Party, and it's important because the United National Party is one of the key parties that aspire to govern this country. So that's why it's important that we look at what's going on within the leadership of the United National Party. Now, Maithri, I want to say this to you. The leadership of the United National Party is why you yourself left the United National Party at one point or another. Now we have a scenario where some people are saying within the UNP that their presidential candidate will be Mr. Sajid Premadasa. Well, that's all well and good. But there are people like Lakshman Kiriyala who is articulating or trying to articulate a cause to say that it is Ranil Wickremesinghe who will be that person. Two things spring to my mind. One is, why should Sajid Premadasa be the presidential candidate and expected to be the candidate without the leadership of the party? Why should he do that?
Faraz.
And the second question, Maithri, is this, that these people who are articulating a Ranil is the leader, Ranil is the candidate, Ranil is, you know, the best thing that happened to the United National Party since sliced bread took over the world, are actually not original key UNP people.
No, Faraz,
They are imported people.
Faraz, what is happening is now, even during the crisis,
Yeah.
all of the UNP supporters supported the party to come over the crisis, and that was construed as they were supporting Ranil Wickremesinghe.
Right.
So actually, what the UNP and Ranil Wickremesinghe couldn't do for 25 years, President Maithri Sirisena did it with a stroke of a pen by getting all the disgruntled UNPers to support the UNP. And then with this whole incident, there came from within the UNP, with this rejuvenation of the UNP, there came a cry within the UNP for Sajid to take over the leadership.
It's a natural
cry, and even people like Ajit Parra, who at one time opposed to Sajid coming in,
Yeah.
and they were blowing the trumpet for Mr. Ranil Wickremesinghe,
Yeah.
are now saying that Sajid should come in.
Exactly. Yes.
Sajid should come in.
Yeah.
So now what has happened is, for us, Mr. Wickremesinghe is perfectly aware of what is happening now.
Right.
Perfectly aware. What he does is he changes the ball game. He now completely forgets the UNP,
Right.
and he forms a National Democratic Front,
Yeah.
where the UNP does not play a major game, because that National Democratic Front consists of people who are not in the UNP, consists of people who are outside the UNP, so-called civil society, so-called other parties, so-called alliance partners.
Right. So who are these people, these so-called imports into the UNP?
No, they are now even Mr. Lakshman Kiriyal, even if you take Ravi Karunanayaka, Rajitha Senaratne, Rauf Hakim, all of these guys are people who are not, although they contested under the UNF.
Yeah. And they contested
under the
UNP.
They are contested under the UNP. They are not card-carrying members of the UNP.
Yeah.
So they don't have the passion for the UNP as those who
Because they don't share that UNP ideology.
They don't have the passion because they are not brought up in that culture.
Yeah.
So they don't want anyone from the UNP born and bred UNP to come and take this over. So that is why they are promoting Mr. Ranil Wickremesinghe once again. And for us, by putting him once again, what do you expect? It's the same result.
Indeed.
And I'm telling you that he will never, after this rejuvenation of the UNP, thanks to the President, Mr. Sirisena,
Yeah. he
is not going to leave that opportunity to contest the presidential election in 2020.
And it seems that you're absolutely right, because he is being supported by this, what I call the pseudo UN.
Oh yes. No, so he has done it in such a way, because now you take Lakshman Kiriyal, he is also eyeing to be maybe Prime Minister.
Right.
Most of these guys, Rajitha Senaratne, his name transpired in the last fiasco of him being offered premiership. So all these guys are shopping and searching as to how they can get there, bypassing the original and the main UNP block.
Right.
The main UNP block. So this is the predicament of the UNP, and these are the people who are protecting Ranil Wickremesinghe, because they feel that if he becomes vulnerable, then there is an opportunity for them so that they can seize that opportunity.
Right.
Right. So this is the sad state, and I mean, Mr. Sajid Premadasa, I know it for a fact. this premiership was offered to him several occasions by the president.
Yeah.
But it was refused for whatever reason.
Yeah.
But for us, in politics, chances, you don't get chances after chances. And in Sinhalese they say, Dena deya gedaratama ganalla deno. Dena deya gedaratama ganalla deno. That is, when your luck is good, everything, if you get it, they come and tap and give it to you.
Right.
But it's irony, because the country, the people were wanting him to take over and give with that rejuvenation of the UNP, it would have gone on to top gear.
Yeah.
And 2020 election would have been almost a foregone conclusion.
So what
you're
you're really saying is that if Ranil Wickremesinghe had the interests of the United National Party at heart, he would seize the opportunity now to hand over the reins and let somebody else, young and capable, and who's clearly enjoying the widespread support of the party, if not the public at large, to carry on with it.
Definitely. And for us, this is not what I am saying. This is what two commissions appointed by Mr. Ranil Wickremesinghe, the Pandita Ratna Commission, said the same thing, that he should hand it over. The R.S. Jayarathna Commission in 2007, Pandita Ratna Commission in 2004, they said that if Mr. Wickremesinghe should have left the party, handed it over to someone in 2004.
Right.
And 2007. Now we are 15 years after that. 15 years after that. And he is making the same mistake over and over and over and over again. He'll never learn.
Very quickly, can you tell me the definition, somebody's asking, the definition of a national government? What is the, very quickly, we're in the last minute or so.
The national government is a government or independent group which gets the largest amounts of seats in parliament. They can come into a national government by coming into an agreement with some other party or independent group in parliament, which has a large amount of seats, so that they can agree on a certain policy.
Is it the UNP plus one or others?
No way. It's not one UNP plus one.
Yeah.
It is the UNP and another political party with many more
other
members.
Political parties.
So it's someone.
So you can't just use SLMC's one.
You cannot, because SLMC is already a part of the UNF.
Right.
SLMC is already part of the UNF. Now see to what extent they are going to breach the constitution, to violate the constitution, just to get few people, few new jobs.
But it's all horse trading, isn't it?
Definitely.
That's why.
That's why they want these ministries.
And he's even now trying to sneak in another 2.
That's right.
From 30 to 32.
No, but his original request was 36.
Right.
His letter was requesting for 36, and the president has not given it.
And well, thank you very much, because we're running out of time. But very quickly, I just want to point out that in Sri Lanka, various things are actually happening in spite and despite all sorts of various issues that's going on. And one such issue is, of course, that Sri Lanka has been showing a commitment to investigating, and in Manor, the latest information about that mass graves is that a selection of the remains have been sent to Florida for carbon dating and so on. So we expect, what I'm trying to say is that Sri Lanka is getting on. We're not covering up. It's being uncovered.
Definitely.
And it is high time too, whilst we are uncovering things in Manor, in the sad case of the mass grave found there, it's about time that we unmask and uncover the real tragedy of the leadership crisis at the United National Party.
Because it affects the country, because these are the people, I mean, a strong opposition, strong government, people's representatives, all that, those are matters of public importance, and the UNP must pay attention to that and give the people's mandate.
And I think the people in the north, also the former conflict areas, the Tamil people up there, they also need to know that the delivery by this government, by Mr. Wickremesinghe's government, has actually been rather cosmetic in nature.
No, for us, that does not happen. There is no delivery because the TNA is also with Mr. Wickramasinghe. The TNA is also with Mr. Wickramasinghe. And it's the TNA who goes to the north and says that the Sinhalese government or the government of the south is not helping the north. It is not helping the people of the north to sort out the problems of the people of the north. And their only way is to keep the people of the north impoverished, so that they can bank on their support, get the votes. None of their children go to those schools. Most of them are living abroad, the politicians of the TNA. So they are only finding ways to somehow see that the flames of ethnic strife are enhanced, so that they can preserve their positions in parliament, do horse deals with the United National Front, and see that the country is again put back to flames.
Maithri, thank you very much. So the last bit, what do you think will happen to the leadership?
Nothing is going to happen.
Will the original people win?
No.
They should win.
Yeah, they should, but they have no backbone to stand up to him and fighting. They won't win. Take it from me, Faraz. Ranil Wickramasinghe is going to be the next presidential candidate of the new front.
But that's going to put the United National Party in grave trouble.
That does not make a difference. That does not matter to him.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Morandu, stubborn.
He has been stubborn all his life.
Maithri, thank you very much. And on this note, we're having a day off tomorrow because it's Christmas Day. But let me take this opportunity to wish all our viewers all over the world, from the United States, from Canada, Europe, from England, and also from New Zealand, Australia. I met somebody from New Zealand yesterday. And we'd like to thank you all for following Newsline. And we really do appreciate the comments that you send. We appreciate your concern for and on behalf of the people of this country. You, me, everybody else. And so on that note, I'd like to wish you, on behalf of the chairman, the board of directors, and everybody at Team News First, a very, very happy Christmas. And, you know, keep your faith, because that's what matters. You must have faith. Happy Christmas to you. Thank you very much, Maithri.
Thank you very much, Faraz. Thank you.
And on that note, that's the way it was on Newsline. Take care, have a great Christmas, and God bless.
News First, Newsline with Faraz Shaukatali.